Now let's take up the questions from exercise M10, which is related to averages. Look at the first question. It says the average of 6 observations is 12. When a 7th number is added, the new average is decreased by 1. So it becomes 11. So original average is equal to 12 for 6 numbers. New average is equal to 1 less than 12, which is 11, and that is for 7 numbers. That is the 7 observation. That is the question saying. Now, before going ahead, what was the theory of averages? Average is equal to total sum divided by total number of items. From here, you can calculate the total sum as average into the number of items. Now, look at the first situation. 12 is the average for 6 numbers. So that means the original sum of 6 numbers is equal to 12 into 6, that is 72. And 11 is the average of 7 numbers. So that means the sum of 7 numbers, including the 7th number, is 11 is the average into 7 items. So it is equal to 77. As you can see, the 7th number is very clearly equal to the sum of all 7 numbers minus the sum of original 6 numbers, which is 77 minus 72, that is equal to 5. Right? So the answer is B option, that is 5. Now please understand that I have written all these things just to make it a little more clear. You may choose what is required to be written, and you can do some of calculations mentally also. This is a very easy question. Let's go to the next question now. This says the average age of 4 players is 18.5. Alright, so as we followed in the previous case, if the age of the coach is also included, the average age increases by 20%. Find the age of the coach. I think it is exactly same as the previous question. Let's say the sum of 4 players is equal to 4 into 18.5, which is equal to 18.5 2s is 37 into 2 is 74. Right? This is the original sum of 4 players. Now, if age of the coach is also included, the average age increases by 20%. Alright, so let me put it this way. The sum of 5 people, including 4 players and the coach, will be equal to 5 into the new average. Now, what is the new average? New average is 20% more. So, it is 1.2 times. If it is something increases by 20%, it becomes 1.2 times. The original value is 18.5. Alright, so simplify this first. So, it is 5 into 1.2 is 12 upon 10 into 18.5 is let it be 18.5. 5 cancels 10 2 times, 2 cancels 12 6 times. So 6 into 18.5, that will be 3 into 37, 111. So the sum of 4 players is 74. Sum of 4 players and the teacher is 111. So very clearly the teacher's age will be equal to those sum of 5 people minus sum of 4 people, which is 111 minus 74, which is 37 years. Right? So age of the coach or age of the teacher or the coach, in fact, this was age of coach is equal to this. So it is 37 years is the age. Answer is D option. Alright. There may be several other ways of writing, but I think this seems to be much better way of writing and doing this question, because we know that average is equal to total sum divided by number. So from here we can straight away calculate sum is equal to n into average. This is, or average into n. This is how we can apply these two formulae or these two rules. Okay. Now this question, it says average salary of 20 workers in an office is 1900 per month, and if the manager's salary is also included, the average salary becomes 2000 per month. What is the manager's annual salary? I think it's very simple to understand again. The sum of salaries of 20 workers would be equal to the average 1900 into 20 workers, so it is equal to 38,000 is the total sum of 20 workers, and the sum of 21 people including the manager will be equal to, what is the new average? The new average is 2000, right? So 2000 into how many people? 21 people, so it becomes 42,000. As you can see, the manager salary is straight away equal to the sum of 21 people minus the sum of 20 workers. So it is 38,000, 42,000 minus 38,000. Alright. So manager's monthly salary is 4,000. right? But the question is asking, what is the manager's annual salary, right? So it will be, annual salary will be equal to, in a year we have 12 months into 4,000 per month, that is equal to 48,000. So be careful, the answer of the question is 48,000, which is option A. Alright, again a simple question. Now let's go to the next question. Now this question says the average expenditure of a man for the first 5 months is 1200 and for the next 7 months is 1300. Right, so first let's find the total expenditure. Total expenditure is equal to, so for the first 5 months it is 1200. So the total for 5 months will be 1200 into 5 plus. For the next 7 months it is 1300 per month. So it is 1300 into 7. So total for 12 months, this is 12 into 5, that is 6000, plus 13 into 7 is 9100. So this becomes 15,100 rupees. This is the total expenditure for year, for 12 months, that is for year, right? And he saved 2,900 in that year. So total income for the whole year is equal to expenditure plus saving. We have discussed it in one of the other questions also. Expenditure is 15,100 plus saving is 2,900. So this becomes 15 plus 2, that is 17,000, 18,000 rupees is the total income for the entire year. Now what is the question asking? Average monthly income. So monthly income should be equal to total income of the year, which is 18,000, divided by number of months, which is 12. So 18,000 by 12 is 1,500. Alright, so his income for every month is 1,500 rupees, which is option A. That is the correct answer. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. Now this question says average marks scored by 120 students was 35 and the average of passed candidates was 39 to that of failed, and that of failed candidates was 15. Now this is a very simple question of allegation method, right? You must go back to the theory and check what this method was. Otherwise, it is very simple. If you have done it, if you have done the theory part, I'll simply apply that. There are two groups. One is the group of passed students and their average marks is 39. And one is a group of failed students. Their average marks is 15. And the overall average is 35. So what we do? We take difference of these two and we say that that difference 4 is the weightage of the second group, and we write it below that. Similarly, difference of these two, 15 and 35, the difference will be 20 and that will represent the weightage of the pass group. So the ratio of number of people, ratio of quantities will be this 20 is to 4, which is 5 is to 1. What is this? This is the ratio of quantities of both the groups. Which groups? Pass and fail. Quantities, ratio of quantities of the groups or in the groups. Now in this case the quantity is the people, number of people. So 5 is to 1 is the number of people ratio in pass and fail group, right? So pass and fail ratio is 5 is to 1. How does this ratio come? You have to go back to the original theory video of average and allegation. From there you can see. Now here the total number of students is 120. And that has to be divided in the ratio 5 is to 1. The question is saying number of failed candidates. So failed candidates number would be equal to 1 divided by 1 plus 5 is 6 into 120. So basically you have to divide 120 in the ratio 5 is to 1. 6 cancel 20 times, 120 20 times. So it is 20 students who have failed. That means the answer of this question is B option. Alright. Now the next question. Now this question is more related to time, speed, distance concept. It says 60% of the distance at 30 km per hour, 20% at certain speed and remaining at certain speed. Find the average speed. Now here we need to understand that average speed is basically equal to total distance traveled divided by total time taken. And in any situation, how do you calculate time? The time is equal to simply distance divided by speed, right? This we have done in time and distance chapter. Okay. Now in this question, let's assume that the total distance is equal to 100 kilometers. Okay. Total distance is equal to 100 kilometers. Right. So in different parts, distances are equal to In the first part it is 60 kilometer. In the second part it is 20 kilometer. How do we get this? It says 60%, 20% and the remaining 20 kilometers. Right, so total 100 kilometers, 60% will be 60 kilometer, 20% will be 20 kilometer and the remaining will be 20 kilometer. These are the three parts of distances. Now the speeds in these parts, in the first part the speed is 30 kilometer per hour. In the second part speed is 20 kilometer per hour. And the third part speed is 10 kilometer per hour. The question has given all this information. Now we have to calculate the times spent. Now how do we calculate time? We have to calculate it like this, distance by speed. So in the first part, the distance is 60, speed is 30. So it is 60 by 30, that is 2 hours. In the second part, it is 20 divided by 20. So it is 1 hour. And in the third part, it is 20 divided by 10. So 20 by 10 is equal to 2 hours. Alright. Now, our question says the average speed for the entire journey. So, total distance divided by total time. As you can see in this case, the total distance we had taken to be 100 kilometers and the total time is 2 hours plus 1 hour plus 2 hours. So, 2 plus 1, 3 plus 2, 5 hours. So, 100 by 5 is 20. So, the final answer is 20 kilometers per hour. This is the average speed for the entire journey. So the option C is the correct answer. Alright. Now this says the average earnings of a porter for the first 4 days is a 180 and for the last 4 days is 220. Now we know that in a week there are 7 days. Let me put it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. For the first 4 days, the average is 180 rupees. So the total sum for all these 4 days will be equal to 4 into 180, which is 720. Similarly, for the last 4 days, now the last 4 days will be 4, 5, 6 and 7th day. For these 4 days, the average is 220. Alright. So the total sum, 220 rupees. So the total sum of these 4 days will be equal to 4 into 220, which is equal to 880 rupees, right? So 720 rupees for the first 4 days and 880 rupees for the last 4 days. Now in both of these two values, 4th day income is included or 4th day earning is included. We have to find the average of entire week. Entire week means for the total sum of 7 days. How do you calculate the total sum of 7 days? Now look at this very carefully. The sum of all 7 days will be equal to the sum of 4 days, first 4 days, plus the sum of last 4 days. Now what will happen for that? If you add these two? If you add these two, you get first, second, third and fourth. Then if you add last 4 days, you get 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. What is happening? The 4th day is being counted twice. Alright. So subtract the 4th day once. You will get the sum of the entire week. Right. So sum of first 4 days is 720. Sum of last 4 days is 880 and minus the 4th day itself is given, that is 200. So it is 200. So if you simplify this, it is 7 and 8, 15, 1600 minus 200, that is 1400. So the total sum of all the earnings of 7 days is 1400. So the average for the entire week is equal to the sum of entire week, that is 7 days, that is 1400, divided by 7, which is equal to 200 rupees. Whatever value you get, that is the answer. So the answer to this question is option A. Now the trickiest part of this question was calculation of the sum of all 7 days. I repeat, if you add the first 4 days, you get first day, second day, you get first day, second day, third day and fourth day. Then you add last 4 days, you get 4th day, 5th day, 6th day and 7th day. That means the 4th day is being added twice if you add both of these values. So what we do, we add first 4 days plus last 4 days and subtract the 4th day to remove the doubling or remove the duplicacy of data. So we get total sum as 1400 and from there we calculate the average as 1400 divided by 7, which is 200 rupees per day. Alright, now let's go to the next question. Now this question is again a repetition of one of the previous questions that we have done. The average age of A, B, C, D, E 5 years ago is 45 years. Now in any case, everybody's age has to increase by the same value. So the average also increases by the same value over a constant period of time. Now what does it mean? If I say that 5 years ago, the average was 45. That means present average of those 5 people has to be 45 plus 5. That is 50 years. Why? 5 years ago it was 45. So right now it has to be 50 years average. So the sum of those 5 people at present has to be equal to 5 into 50. That is 250 years. I repeat, if all the people increase, all the values increase by the same value, and ages always increase by the same value. In any 5 years period, everybody's age has to increase by 5 years, right? So that means the overall average will also increase by 5 years. Now 5 years ago the average was 45, so the new average would be 45 plus 5, which is 50. So the present sum of 5 people will be 5 into 50, that is 250 years. Now the question says, if we include the age of X, that's the 6th person, that is a present scenario, the averages of all the 6 now, that means present, becomes 49 years. That means at present, the sum of 6 people, now who are these 6 people? 5 people, the original ones, that is A, B, C, D, E, and including X. This sum will be equal to, their new average is 49. So 49 into 6 people, that has to be equal to 49 into 6, 294 years. Right, so please understand, just to make it clear, I'll write this 250 is equal to, this is A plus B plus C plus D plus E. And this 294 is equal to A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus X. So whatever is the difference of these two values will be the age of X. So present age of X will be equal to 294 minus 250. 294 minus 250, which is equal to 44 years. Yeah, 44 years. Just make one correction. Option C is not 45, it is 44, right? There must have been a mistake in typing. Otherwise, the option C is the answer that I know. So, answer is option C, make it 44 years. Alright, don't worry. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. Now this question says the average age of a husband and wife was 23 when they were married 5 years ago. So at present the average age of husband and wife should be equal to 23 plus 5, which is 28 years. Alright, because each one of them will increase by 5 years. So their average now will be 23 plus 5, 28 years. Alright, so at present the sum of husband and wife will be equal to 28 into 2, which is 56 years. Alright, now if the average age of the man, wife and child, that is 20, so there are 3 people now. So at present husband plus wife plus child divide by 3, that is their average. This should be equal to 20. So what do we have from here? We get husband plus wife plus child equal to 20 into 3, cross multiplication, that gives us 60. So we have husband plus wife equal to 56, husband plus wife plus child equal to 60. So in place of husband plus wife, put 56 plus child is equal to 60. So from here we get child age is equal to 60 minus 56, that is 4 years. Now what is the question asking? The question is asking to find the age of the child. So it is D option, 4 years. Alright. Now the next one. Now this question says a shopkeeper earned rupees 5040 in 12 days. So his total earning is 5040 in 12 days. His average income for the first 4 days was 400. What is the average income for the remaining days? Right. So for 12 days he has earned 5040 and first 4 days his average was 400 per day. So for 4 days total, first 4 days total will be equal to 400 into 4, which is 1600. Alright. So that means for last 8 days, his earning would be total for 12 days minus total for first 4 days. Right. Now, total for 12 days is 5040 minus total for first 4 days is 1600. So if we subtract, you get 3440 is the total for last 8 days. So average of last 8 days is equal to total sum, that is 3440, divide by 8. So if you divide by 8, it comes out to be 430 rupees. That is the average of last 4 days. The question is asking what is the average of income for the remaining days. Remaining days is 8 days, so which is option B, 430 rupees. Alright. Now let's look at the next question. Now this question says the average wage of 200 workers working in a factory is rupees 50. The average wage of 75 workers of the first shift is 60. Find the average wage for the rest. So there are total 200 people divided into two groups. If one group has 75 people, that means the remaining group will have 200 minus 75, 125 people. Alright. Now the total sum for all 200 people, it has to be equal to, the average is 50. So 50 into the number of people, 200. So that comes out to be 50 into 200 is 10,000 rupees. So the total sum of all 200 people is 10,000 rupees. The average of the 75 workers of the first shift is 60 rupees. So the total sum for those 75 people will be equal to 60 rupees per person into 75. Now 60 into 75 is equal to 4,500. Alright. So what is the total sum? Total sum for the remaining 125 people. So we have 10,000 for 200 people minus 4,500 for 75 people. So subtract. So 10,000 minus 4,500, that will come out to be 5,500 rupees. This is the total of 125 people. So that means if the question is asking the average for the remaining people, average for those 125 people will be the total sum, which is 5,500 divided by 125. If you simply cancel, it cancels by 5, we'll get 1100 divided by 25, which you further cancel by 25. In fact, directly 11 forza, 25 forza is 100, 11 forza is 44. So 44 rupees is the average earning of those remaining 125 people, which is option B. That is the correct answer. Alright. Now let's go to the next one. Now this says there are 50 students in a class, out of which 20 are girls. So 50 students, 20 girls, hence automatically 30 boys. Right. Now the average weight of 20 girls is 45 and there are 30 boys is 52. Find the average weight in the entire class. Alright. So this is a normal question of weighted average. So combined average, if you remember the formula, it is equal to V1 into W1. V1 is the first value into the weightage of the first value, that is the quantity of the first value, plus V2 into W2, value of the second one, into the quantity of the second one, divide by total quantity, that is W1 plus W2. Here V1 is given, let's say girls group is the first group, then V1 is average of 20 girls is 45. So this is our V1. Alright, 52 is V2. So it is 45 into W1 is 20. So this is W1. Alright, so it is 45 into 20 plus V2 is 52 into W2 is 30 boys. So into 30. Divide by 20 plus 30. So this is a normal simple question. So 45 into 20 is 900 plus 52 into 30 is 1560 divide by 50. Alright, so it is 900 plus 1560, that is 2460 by 50. So 0 and 0 get cancelled and the final answer would be 49.2 kg. So the average weight of the entire class is 49.2 kg, which is option A. That is the correct answer. Alright, now let's go to the next question. Now this question says the average annual salary paid to an employee of the company was rupees 5,000. So overall average is 5,000. The average annual salaries paid to the male and female employees were 5,200 and 4,200. So basically 5,000 is the combined average of 5,200 and 4,200. Right? Then determine the percentage of males and females. Right. Now this is a question of allegation. Right? If you remember the method of allegation, here we have the values as original averages as 5,200 and 4,200. The 5,200 was the average salary of male employees and 4,200 is the average salary of female employees, and the overall average is 5,000. Overall average is 5,000. So what we do is we take difference of these two, so that comes out to be 200, and the difference of these two, that comes out to be 800. The ratio of 800 and 200 will be the ratio of quantities of male and female, right? So which is 200, 800 to 200 is 4 is to 1. So male is to female ratio is 4 is to 1. Now what is the question asking? The percentage of males. So that means the male percentage. So we already have male is to female is equal to 4 is to 1. So male percentage will be 4 divided by 5. 4 plus 1 is 5 into 100, which is equal to 520 times 20 into 4 is 80. So male percentage is 80%. So of course, female percentage will be 100 minus 80, that is 20%. Or you can calculate by 1 by 5 also. So if you look at the options, C option is the correct answer of this question. Alright, now let's go to the next question. Now this question says, in a factory, average wage of one class of workers is 50 rupees per week and the another class of workers is 60 rupees per week. If the average wage of all the workers taken together is 57, so it is still a question of allegation. Alright, here there are two groups. Their average wages are 50 rupees per week and 60 rupees per week, and overall average is 57. So the quantities ratio we can find directly by the differences. Difference of 50 and 57 is 7. That will present the weightage of the second group. And difference of 60 and 57 is 3. That will present the weightage of the first group. So ratio of 3 and 7 is the ratio of quantities of first group and second group. So first class is to second class is 3 is to 7. Now the question is saying, what is the ratio of the workers in two classes? That is 3 is to 7. That is the final answer, which is option number D. Right? Be careful. If 7 is to 3 was there, you had to take only 3 is to 7 as the answer. Now the next question. Now this question says, in a batch of 10 students, the average weight of one group is 100 pounds and the another group is 120 pounds. LBS is the presentation for pounds. The average weight of the entire batch is 112 pounds. Still a question of allegation. Because here, see, allegation will be a useful method only when the two groups' averages are given and their combined overall average is given, right? So the difference of 100 and 112 will be 12 as the weightage of the second group. Difference of 120 and 112, that is 8, is the weightage of second group. So the ratio will be 8 is to 12, which is 2 is to 3. This is the ratio of the quantities of first and second group. That is the number of students in the first and second group, right? So first group is to second group. The ratio of number of students is 2 is to 3. And the total number of students is 10. Total number of students is 10. So divide 10 in the two groups. So the first group will be 2 by 2 plus 3, 5 into 10. So 5 cancels 10 2 times. 2 into 2 is 4. Similarly, the second group will be equal to 3 by 5 into 10. 5 cancels 10 2 times. 2 into 3 is 6. So the number of students in the two groups are 4 and 6. So if you look at the option, B option is the correct answer. Okay. Now let's go to the next question. Now this question says the average age of combined group of men and women is 30 years. If the average age of men is 32 and women is 27. Oh, so again the original averages and the combined average is given. So that means it is a question of still allegation, right? So what we do is, for men the average age is 32. For women, the average age is 27 and their overall average is 30. So that is written in between. Difference of 32 and 30 is 2. Difference of 27 and 30 is 3. So 3 is the weightage of men, 2 is the weightage of women. Ratio of 3 and 2 will be the ratio of men is to women. So ratio of number of men and women will be equal to 3 is to 2. Now what is the question asking? Find the percentage of men and women in the group. Right. So it is men is to women equal to 3 is to 2. That means men percentage will be equal to 3 divided by 3 plus 2 is 5 into 100. 5 cancels 100 20 times. 20 into 3 is 60. So men percentage 60%. That means women percentage will be 100 minus 60, that is 40%. Or you can also calculate from 2 by 5. So 60% and 40%, that is A option is the correct answer. Alright. Now let's go to the next question. Now this question says, out of the total population in the town of Wammapoonga, 60% belong to Beebala race and the rest belong to Kabila clan. That means one group has to be 60% and the other group has to be 40%. Right? So this is Beebala race and this is Kabila clan. Alright. Now it was determined that their average incomes were respectively 2000 and 5000 paisa. So the average income of the Beebala group is 2000 paisa per person. And the average income of Kabila group is 5000 paisa per person. Alright. Find the average income of the entire town. So what we can do is we can straight away calculate the average of entire town, or the combined average will be equal to, see, 60% and 40% are their weightages. 2000 and 5000 are their values. So this is V1, this is V2, this is W1 and this is W2. Right? So we can directly apply that formula V1 into W1 plus V2 into W2 divided by W1 plus W2. Alright, so this is equal to 2000 into 60 plus 5000 into 40 divided by 60 plus 40 is the total weightage. So we have here 2000 into 60 is 12, 4 zeros, be careful about number of zeros, 5 into 4 is 20 and then 4 zeros and whole divide by 100. So this comes out to be 120 plus 200 is 320,000 divided by 100. So 2 zeros get cancelled and the final answer is 3200 paisa. So the average of the entire town together is 3200 paisa. That is D option, that is the correct answer. Alright, so this was a simple question of combined average. Now let's look at the next question. Now this question says there are 3 sections ABC of class 12 in a section. The average marks secured by 25 students of section A. So I'll write like this: A, B, C. Number of students in A is 25. The average of A is 47. The number of students in section B is 35 and the average is 51. So 35 number of students and average 51. And C, it is 30 students and 53 students. So 30 and 53. Right? So here there are 3 groups. Right? So their average would be calculated as V1 into W1 plus V2 into W2 plus V3 into W3. It will just extend. Divide by W1 plus W2 plus W3. But here there is one catch. If you take these values 25, 35 and 30, the calculation will be slightly tedious. So what you should do is take the ratio. Take the ratio of number of students. Right? So ratio of number of students would be 5 cancels all of them. So it becomes 5 is to 7 is to 6. Right? Take these values as W1, W2 and W3. You can do that, right? Remember, you can do that because W1, W2, W3 are in numerator as well as denominator. So if you cancel something to all of them, from all of them, the answer will remain same, right? And by cancelling, you get smaller numbers. So it will help in the calculation process, right? And this 47 is V1, 51 is V2 and 53 is V3. So the average value will be equal to 47 into 5 plus 51 into 7 plus 53 into 6. I repeat, you could have taken directly 25, 35 as 30 as the values. In that case, here in this calculation, all of these W1, W2, W3 should be placed as 25, 35 and 30. But if you simplify them, the calculation becomes a little simpler. Right? So in denominator, we have 5 plus 7 plus 6. Complete this calculation. 47 into 5 is 235. Right? And 51 into 7 is 357. 53 into 6 is 318. Now this divide by 5 plus 7 plus 6 is 18. So what do we have here? We have 235 plus 357 plus 318. If you add them, you will get 910 divided by 18. So if we simply divide, alright, so it is 50.55. This is the average of the entire class together, average marks of the entire class together, which is option B. So it was a normal question of simple calculation of averages. Alright, now let's move on to the next question. Now this question says a cycle dealer sold 8 bicycles for 135 each and 7 bicycles for 120 each. Find the average price at which he sold them. Right, so this is a simple question of average, application of V1 into W1 plus V2 into W2 divided by V1 W1 plus W2. So V1 and V2 are the original values, W1 and W2 are their quantities. So 8 bicycles, that is W1, 135 rupees, so that is V1, 7 bicycles is W2 and 120 is V2. So just put the values here. So it is 135 into 8 plus 120 into 7 divided by 8 plus 7. Now see, it is 135 into 8. Now 135 is actually 15 into 9 into 8. 120 is 15 into 8 into 7. And the whole thing is divided by 8 plus 7 is 15. Now, because denominator was 15, instead of multiplication, I factorized 135 and I factorized 120. So what will happen? 15 will come common from the numerator. So it is 15 common. 9 into 8 plus 8 into 7. And then you simplify, divide by 15. So this 15 gets cancelled and we have 9 8s is 72 plus 8 7s is 56. So this comes out to be 6 plus 2 is 8 and 7 plus 5 is 12. So 128 rupees is the average price. I have done in one way of calculating. I have done the calculation in one way. You may choose to use your own method also. The idea is to get it correctly. That is 128. So the answer is B option for this question. Let's go to the next question now. Now this question says the average weight of Angelina, Brad and Charlize is 84. So that means the sum of Angelina, let's say A, Brad is B and Charlize is C. That would be equal to 84 into 3. We have done such questions earlier also. So for 3 people, the average is 84. So the sum of those 3 people will be 84 into 3, that is 252. Alright. Now when Dante joins this group, the average becomes 80. So Dante, that means then after Dante joins, there will be 4 people. A, B, C and Dante stands for D. That will be equal to, their sum will be equal to 80 is their average and now there are 4 people. So 80 into 4 is 320. Now from here you can see that 320 is the sum of ABCD. 252 is the sum of ABC. So if I put 252 in place of ABC, I'll get the value of D. So value of D will be 320 minus 252. As you can see, 320 is ABC and D. 252 is only ABC. So if we subtract 252 from 320, you get value of D. So the weight of D is equal to 68 kg. Right? Then it says, if another man, Ethan, let's say E, whose weight is 3 kg more than D. So E becomes D plus 3, that is 68 plus 3, which is equal to 71 kg. So now we have the weight of E also. Now, if the question says, if another man, Ethan, whose weight is 3 kg more than D, replaces Angelina, the average weight of Brad, Charlize, Dante and Ethan becomes 79. So Brad plus Charlize plus Dante plus Ethan, that is equal to 79 kg is the average. So total will be 79 into 4, which is 316 kg. Alright, 79 into 4 is 316, you can calculate that. Now here we already know the weight of D, the weight of E. So what we can do, put the values of D and E here. So it is B plus C plus D is 68, E is 71 and that is equal to 316. Now from here you can say that B plus C will be equal to 316 minus 68 and 71. So if you subtract, it will become B plus C equal to 316 minus 8 and 1 is 9, 6 and 7 is 13. So it is 139, which is eventually equal to 177. So we have B plus C equal to 177. Alright. Now what is the question asking? Question asking, find the weight of Angelina. Perfect. Right. Now what do we need to do here? Look at this very carefully. We have Angelina, Brad and Charlize, ABC as 252. And in this, we have already calculated B and C together. That is 177. So I'll write it again here. A plus B plus C is equal to 252 and B plus C is equal to 177. That means Angelina's weight will be straight away 252 minus 177, which is equal to 75 kg. Alright, so the answer of this question is B option, 75 kg. Okay, now let's go to the next question. A money shark lent rupees 2000 to X, Y and Z. He lent rupees 500 to X at 3% interest and 750 to Y at 4% interest and the rest to Z. So let's first divide the amount. So total amount is 2000 rupees. That means X has got 500 rupees. 500 rupees. Y has got 750 rupees. Alright. Then Z must have got add these two and subtract from 2000. Now these two together would be 1250. If you subtract 1250 from 2000, you will get 750. So first let's remove these lines. This is 750 again. Now what is the rate of interest on 500? The rate of interest on 500 is 3%. Now then what will be the interest value? Interest value. Let's calculate interest value from here. Interest value will be 3% of 500. 3% of 500, you can calculate it in your way. It is 3% of 500 is 15 rupees. Alright. Similarly, on 750, what is the rate of interest? It is 4%. So you can calculate 4% of 750, that is 4 by 100 into 750. That will give us 30 rupees. Now, the total of these two together is 15 plus 30, that is 45 rupees. Right? And the rest to Z, and the question says his interest becomes 6%. His interest is total 6%. So on total, the rate of interest is 6%. So the total interest value, it will be 6% of 2000. Now 6% of 2000 will be equal to 2 6 to the 12, 120 rupees. So our total interest has to be 120. And from these two, we have already calculated interest. That means the interest value on the third one, has to be 120 minus 45, which is 75 rupees. So on the third one, the interest is 75 rupees. Now the only thing that you need to find, what percentage of 750 is 75. So you can simply calculate 75 upon 750 into 100. But as you can see, it is clearly 10%. So the interest that is the rate of interest charged to Z is 10%, D option. Alright. Now let's go to the next question. Now in this question, it says the average of A, B, C and D is 16. So average of these four numbers is 16. That means the sum of those four numbers A plus B plus C plus D has to be equal to 16 into 4, which is 64. Then it says half the sum of B, C and D. So sum of B plus C plus D and half of that. It is not saying average, it is half of that. That is saying 28. So this means B plus C plus D, that is equal to 28 into 2 is 56. So now we have the sum of ABCD and the sum of BCD. Sum of ABCD is 64 and BCD is 56. So just in place of BCD, if you put 56, so it gives you A plus 56 is equal to 64. Or directly A equal to 64 minus 56. Now 64 minus 56 is 8. So the answer of this question is first option, that is 8. A simple question. Now let's go to the next one. The average marks of a class of 50 students in English is 25. And the average marks of the top 20 students is 40. The average marks of the rest of the student, that is 30. So total 50. That means one group has 20 students and the other group must have 30 students. Alright. Now, the average marks of the rest of the students and the overall average is given. Alright. So sum of the entire class of 50 students will be equal to the average of 50 students, that is 25, into the number of students is 50. So 25 into 50, this is one of the similar question as the previous questions. So 25 into 50 is 1250. Now, the sum of top 20 students, that will be equal to, their average is 40, right? And their number is 20. So 40 into 20, that will be equal to 800. So the sum of remaining 30 people, that will be equal to the sum of 50 people minus sum of 20 people. So it is 1250 minus 800. Which is 450. So the average of remaining 30 people is equal to total sum of 30 people 450 divided by the number of students 30. 0, 0 cancel, 3 cancel 45, 15 times. So the answer of the question is C, 15. The rest of the students' average is 15 marks. Alright. Now let's go to the next question. Now this question says the average of 5 numbers is 27. If one number is excluded, then the average becomes 25, right? So sum of 5 numbers is equal to 27 is the average into 5 numbers. So it is 135. Then when one number is excluded, now the number of remaining numbers will be 4. So sum of the remaining 4 numbers will be equal to, their average is 25 and their 4 numbers. So 25 into 4 is 100. whatever is the difference of these two, one second. Whatever is the difference of these two is the excluded number. So the excluded number is equal to 135 minus 100, which is equal to 35. So it's a simple question. Answer is D option. Alright. Now the next one. It says the total monthly income of 16 persons is 80,800 and the income of one of them is 120% of the average income. Find his income. So basically first we need to find the average. What is the average income? Average income will be equal to 80,800 divided by 16. Now if 16 cancels 85 times, so it is 5050 rupees. This is the average income, right? Now one of them has 120% of the average income. So then his income, that specific person's income will be equal to 20% more, or let's say 120% of 5050. So it's a simple calculation. We will have 120 is 1% is 120 by 100 into 5050. Right? So 00 cancelled, 00 cancels. If you multiply by 12, 12 5 is 60. So it is 6060 rupees. So that particular person's income is 6060, which is B option. That is the correct answer. Now let's go to the next one. Now this question says the combined mean score, mean means average, of two sections is 28. The mean score of section A is 30, in which there are 25 students, and there are 20 students in section B. Then the mean score of section B is, alright. So I think we can directly do it by the same process. There are 20 students in, so let's say section A, section B, number of people and average, right? So section A number of people is 25 and section A average is 30. So what will be the total sum in section A? It will be 25 into 30. 25 into 30 is 750. In section B, what are the number of students? In section B, there are 20 students and we have to find the average of section B. Let's do it later. Let's say combined. What is the total number of students in these two sections combined together? That is 25 plus 20. Now 25 plus 20 is equal to 45. And the combined average is given. Combined average is already given 28. So the total sum of all these three or both these sections combined together would be 45 into 28. Now what is 45 into 28? 1260. Alright. Now, so the combined total is 1260, right? And total of section A is 750. So what will be the total sum of section B? That will be section B total sum will be 1260 minus 750. So this comes out to be 015. So it is 510. That is the total sum of section B. This means the average of section B will be 510 total sum divided by 20. So 0 and 0 get cancelled. 51 upon 2 is 25.5. See, average of section B is 25.5, which is option A. That is the correct answer. Alright. Now let's go to the next question. Now this question. The average of three numbers is 77. If the first number is half of the second number and the second number is half of the third number. So let's assume that the first number is x. That means the second number has to be 2x because first one has to be half of the second one. That means the third number has to be 4x because the second itself is half of third, right? And their average will be x plus 2x plus 4x divided by 3. And this is given to be 77. So it is 7x upon 3 equal to 77. 7 cancels 77 11 times, so x is equal to 33. Now x is the smallest number, as you can see, x, 2x, 4x. So x is the smallest number. So the smallest number is 33, which is option D. That is the correct answer. Let's move on to the next one. Now this question says 10 years ago, the average age of family of 4 members was 24. That is 10 years ago. So present age, a present average of 4 people has to be 34. Average of 4 people has to be 34. So present sum of those 4 people has to be 34 into 4, which is equal to, if you multiply it, is 136. Alright. That is sum of 4 people. At present, sum of 4 people is 136. But the question says 2 children having been born with age difference of 2. Let's assume their ages are x and y. So x minus y is 2. That is one equation that we already have for those 2 children. Alright. Now further, the present average age of the family. Now the family has 6 people. So originally there were 4 members and 2 children born. So now there are 6 people. The present average of the family is the same. Now same as what? Same as what it was 10 years ago, that is 24. So present average for 6 people, that is equal to 24. So present sum of 6 people will be 24 into 6, that is equal to 144. Right? Now what is the difference between sum of 4 people and sum of 6 people? It will only be the difference of the children's ages. That means the children's age total has to be difference of 136 and 144. Now children ages we have taken as x and y. So x plus y should be equal to 144 minus 136. So it is x plus y equal to 8. Understand this? That the sum of 4 people is 136. Sum of 6 people is 144. So the 2 people, those who are the children, their ages would be the difference of 144 and 136. So it has to be 8 years. So now we have 2 equations, x minus y equal to 2, x plus y equal to 8. If you simply add them, x minus y equal to 2, x plus y equal to 8. If you simply add them, y gets cancelled. You get 2x equal to 10. So from here you have x equal to 5. If you put it back in any one of the equation, you will get y equal to 3. So the children ages are 5 years and 3 years. Right? Now the question is asking the present age of youngest child. Now youngest child is 3 years old. That is the answer of this question. Now this question says the average age of the boys in the class is 16 years and that of girls in the class is 15 years. So average of boys, their average ages are given 16 years and girls it is 15 years. Now the question is asking the average age of the whole class. Now to find the average of the whole class, we need the numbers of boys and the number of girls. None of them is given. That means we cannot determine, right? We need both of these values or some way to give these two, calculate these two values. These numbers are, weightages are not given, so we cannot calculate the overall average. So the answer has to be D option, cannot be determined. Alright, because the combined average formula that we have done is V1 into W1 plus V2 V2 into W2 divided by W1 plus W2. So either W1 and W2 are given or even if we have W1 is to W2 ratio, still we could have found. Here V1 is given 16, V2 is given 15, but W1 and W2, even the ratio is not given. Right? Even the ratio is not given. Right? So we cannot find the answer of this question. So the answer is D option, cannot be determined. Let's go to the next question. Now this question says the average annual income of 10 workers is 15665. So for 10 people the average is 15665. That means the sum of those 10 people will be 15665 into 10. So it is 15650 rupees. That is the total sum of those 10 people. And 2 of them workers made 20,000. So sum of those 2 people, specific those 2 people will be 20,000 into 2, which is 40,000. Alright. Now, if you subtract 40,000 from this, you will get the sum of remaining 8 people. That will be 15650 minus 40,000. Now, how much is this? If you see, it is 6650, 116650 rupees. This is the sum of those 8 people. That means the average of those remaining 8 people will be equal to 116650 divided by 8. So do the normal division and calculate the answer as 14581.25 rupees. So if you look at the options, I think option 14581, that is B option, is the correct answer. Alright, so 14581.25, that is the correct answer. Right?